Capcom has dropped a Resident Evil 4 remake trailer and we are going to break it down today. Let's just hop right into it already. First things first, we got our first look at older Leon. We got him talking to the president. I'm assuming this is after Ashley got kidnapped, but with this cutscene, it's probably going to give us more background and backstory on Leon's relationship with the president. We know him and Leon were actually good friends, but this cutscene is probably going to reassure their friendship and show them actually setting up to rescue Ashley. What do you guys think of Leon's new older look? For the next clip, we finally have Ashley running through the forest with a new design. In my opinion, this design fits more in the atmosphere of the story because doesn't the story take place in the fall leading up into the winter in the countryside? It's going to be super cold, so it made no sense that Ashley would have a skirt outside. And I see they're going with her beta design from Resident Evil 3.5 from the Madhouse Castle demos that we've seen years before the final Resident Evil 4 released. And with this design, she was rocking a scarf, a jacket, some jeans, and some boots. She looks way better than the final design we've come to know and love, in my opinion. And her outfit is way more functional. Now, I'm still wondering how she managed to get captured in the first place, because I think Krauser's the one who kidnaps her. So maybe with these cutscenes will provide more of a backstory on how she got into the village. I do know from these trailer clips that Resident Evil 4 will be picking up a spookier feel as said in the leaks by Dust Golem and all of those people. And with some of these cutscenes, it seems to confirm that this game will take place in the beginning, at least at nighttime, or maybe in the midday or morning. I'm only saying morning because of what we're gonna see later on as I keep showing you guys these clips. We do see Ashley at a graveyard of some sort. We've never seen Ashley alone, so maybe this game, the remake, will play as Ashley a lot more. We only had one section where we did actually play as Ashley, so I'm thinking this game is going to expand more on her gameplay. Perhaps her and Ada's gameplay will be featured in tandem with Leon's instead of having it be a DLC, kind of like how they did with the RE2 remake. And now we have Leon approaching the first house you ever see within Resident Evil 4. It's a lot darker. The tone is a lot darker, the environment is a lot darker, and it's a lot more scarier. And that's comparing to how the house looks in the original RE4. The house looks a lot more kept together, a lot more vibrant. It looks more new compared to this one. It looks like whoever's taking care of the house isn't all the way here. But what I did notice is there's no second floor. Originally, the first house had a second floor where you can jump out the window, so I'm wondering if those quick time events are taken out of this game. And here we have a look at the village. This is the village square where you find one of the guys hung up and burning. And as you can see, the village looks a lot more crammed in. It looks a lot more destroyed, more desolate. It does look like a pack of ferocious beings live here and rather than just normal people. And this is compared to the artwork of the original village, how you see how the bell tower and the clock tower looks more put together. The houses look, they are lived in. They look like normal people can live and function there versus the new photo of how they look. It looks a lot more destroyed. It looks a lot more randomly put together. A lot of the wood is decaying. It just looks scarier. I'm getting the vibe that the game is really going for that scary destroyed vibe, so maybe the villagers aren't really going to be all that put together. Here we have a little bit of a look at Leon's face. You can't really see it throughout the fire, but you can kind of make a silhouette of what he looks like. I'm guessing in this trailer they're going to keep his face a lot more under wraps. You can't really see the full thing. And here we have a full picture of Luis. You can't really see Luis's full face, but I doubt they really changed his appearance that much from the original because he basically looked perfect. And finally, here's an official look at one of the enemies. I believe this is one of the first enemies you face within Resident Evil 4. And this is how he looks compared to his original Ganado self from the 2004 original. You can see there's a big stark difference between them. I'm sensing a pattern that the original, they were more kept together in terms of appearance versus this one. They look like crackheads. They look like they don't take care of themselves. They look scary. They look more decrepit. They look crazy. But in my opinion, this might be a controversial one. They don't look as scary. They look like they're trying a little too hard to appear scary and unkept. I like the original Ganados because they looked human, but they had an element of uncanniness about them. With these guys, they kind of just look like they're about to attack you. And this is our first official look at some of the things in the castle. The castle looks a lot more darker, a lot more creepier. I think they've taken notes from Lady Demetresque on how to light castles and get the firewood started. This is our first official looks at the cultists as well. They have that creepy vibe to them. The cultists look a lot more cleaner than the villagers. So maybe they're doing this as a stark comparison between the farming villages to the cultists, because the cultists look a lot more clean, more put together, but they also have that very creepy robe element to them. Now we have a semi look at Ada Wong. She's going to be taken after her RE2 remake look. And even though we can't see her, I know she looks good. That's my woman crush right there. The lake looks a lot more murkier, more scarier. From From the looks of it, Leon looks like he's bulked up a little bit. Now, I don't know if the lake boss will still exist in the remake because it looks like Leon is kind of laid out on the boat. Maybe he passes out on the boat instead of in the cabin after he kills the big lake monster. And then we have the big cheese, the village chief himself. And this is him comparatively to how he looks in the original versus now. He looks a lot more sinister. You can't really see his face. He still looks tall, but not as tall as the original. I don't know yet. And the rumors suggest that the big cheese will play almost stalker-like element, almost like Mr. X did in RE2. And if that's the case, I'm hoping that's true. I wonder if this still is going to be his final stage when you actually face off of him in a factory. Here we have a dream sequence that Leon is having. It's because of the parasites. You can kind of make out Leon's face just a little bit, but you can't really see much. Here we have Ashley probably in the forest as well. Maybe she's having the same dream sequences because they both are infected with the parasite, so I wouldn't be surprised if they are. And here we have a clean image on how some of the villagers are gonna look. He kind of bears a resemblance to it, how the original villager looks from RE4, and they do look a lot more crazier, a lot more sweaty, unkept. I just can't wait to see how the AI plays. Maybe they're gonna play a little bit similar to like the Likings in Resident Evil Village. Now, I believe this is the same church you see Ashley in the beginning of the trailer. Maybe this is where she gets captured and held in for a second time. This time, this church is in the daylight, so I'm assuming you get here during the day. Here we have a new updated symbol. Maybe this is still the Los Illuminados symbol, but it looks very different. It looks more akin to how Mother Miranda's symbol was in her cult, like the fetus baby with all the wings, but this time it's just something in the middle of multiple hands. I wonder what this means. And here we have our first look at Lord Sadler himself. You can't really make out what he looks like, but I'm assuming his design haven't really changed. He still has a staff with the tentacles, and he still has the same powers that, you know, he obtained. And now we have the side view of Leon. He's rocking the same jacket he rocked in Resident Evil 3.5. This is the same exact fit. I'm just happy they're bringing this style back and changing it up just a little bit, even though this cutscene is basically akin to the beginning cutscene of the original Resident Evil 4. Now we have our first official look at how new Ashley looks. She looks a lot more mature, a lot more older. Maybe they aged her up in this remake. I have no clue, but she looks a lot more different from her original counterpart. And here we have Leon walking into the village square. So this is what I'm confused by. I'm thinking the beginning of the game takes place super early in the morning to the point it looks like it takes place at night. And then as you move through the village, it just goes to daytime. That's kind of what I'm assuming is happening at this point. And we can see Leon steadily making his way through. And I believe this because Leon still has his jacket on, and Leon loses his jacket at the end of chapter 1. So what do you guys think? Are you guys feeling the Resident Evil 4 remake trailer? Did it get you guys excited? Are you guys ready next year for it? And what did I miss during this breakdown? Comment down below some stuff I missed. Also comment down what you guys are expecting from this remake and hoping it's still there. That being said, losers, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, join the membership program to never miss a video, and I'll see you guys later.